Hi, this is Chenab, the designer of Halo Jewelers exclusively for Popp Dapp.
Halo Jewelers carries a distinct sense of identity and refinement. How would you define the brand's core philosophy and what emotional experience do you aim to create for your audience through each piece?
At Halo Jewelers, our core philosophy is rooted in what we call evolved classics, reimagining timeless jewelry through a modern, fashion forward lens. We design pieces that feel refined yet effortless, where luxury isn't defined by the base metal alone, but by how the jewelry feels on your body, its movement, its presence, and the quiet confidence it brings to the wearer. Now, talking about emotionally, we want every piece to feel like a personal extension of the person wearing it, something they can live in, travel with, and return to every day. There's a sense of ease, empowerment, and understated luxury we aim to create. Jewelry that doesn't just complete the look, but elevates how the wearer feels in it.
Every jewelry brand has a story behind its inception. What inspired the birth of Halo Jewelers and how has that vision evolved over time under your leadership?
Halo Jewelers was born from a very personal realization. Basically, there was a gap between traditional fine jewelry and fashion jewelry. I just couldn't find pieces that felt luxurious, well crafted, and emotionally meaningful, yet were effortless enough to wear every day. Basically, coming from a long career in engineering and data, and having married into a family with deep roots in jewelry, I saw an opportunity to blend precision, craftsmanship, and creativity into something more wearable and relevant. So, what started as a creative exploration has evolved into a clear design philosophy, what I call evolved classics. Under my leadership, the vision has grown from simply creating beautiful pieces to building a brand that redefines how people experience luxury. Today, Halo is about empowering the wearer to feel confident and elevated in their everyday lives, offering jewelry that moves with them, adapts to them, and becomes a part of the personal story.
In an industry driven by both heritage and innovation, how does Halo Jewelers strike a balance between timeless craftsmanship and contemporary design sensibilities?
At Halo Jewelers, that balance comes very naturally to us because it's rooted in who we are. With the foundation tied to generations of jewelry craftsmanship, we have a deep respect for traditional techniques, proportions, and the discipline that makes a piece truly enduring. At the same time, our perspective is shaped by a modern lifestyle, how people move, travel, and live today. Our design philosophy, Evolved Classics, is where those two worlds meet. We take familiar, timeless forms and rework them through a contemporary lens. Lighter, more versatile, and more expressive, we experiment with alternative metals, unexpected stones, combinations, and silhouettes that feel current while ensuring every piece still carries a sense of refinement and longevity. The goal is to create jewelry that doesn't feel tied to a moment, but rather adapts with the wearer over time. Pieces that honor tradition, we feel completely at home in the present.
As the face of the brand, how does your personal aesthetic and perspective influence the creative direction and storytelling of Halo Jewelers?
My personal aesthetic has always leaned toward understated refinement. Pieces that feel intentional, effortless, and quietly powerful rather than overtly ornate. That perspective shapes everything we do at Halo. I'm drawn to balance, structure with fluidity, classic forms with unexpected details, and that naturally translates into our Evolved Classics design made. My background outside of traditional jewelry also plays a big role. Coming from an engineering and a more analytical world, I approach things with both precision and purpose. Every curve, proportion, and the material choice is considered, not just for how it looks, but for how it feels when worn, how it moves, how it sits on the body, and how seamlessly it fits into a person's everyday life. So, from a storytelling standpoint, Halo definitely reflects my belief that luxury should feel personal and lived in. It's not about occasion only pieces, but about creating jewelry that becomes part of your identity, something you reach for instinctively because it makes you feel like the most elevated version of yourself without ever trying too hard. That's Halo.
Today's consumers seek more than just luxury. They look for meaning, authenticity, and connection. How does Halo Jewelers resonate with this shift in consumers' mindset?
So today's consumer is incredibly discerning. They're not just buying a product, they're buying into a feeling, a story, and a set of values. At Halo Jewelers, we always believe that luxury should feel personal and authentic, not distant or intimidating. We resonate with this shift by designing with intention. Our pieces are created to be lived in, versatile, expressive, and meaningful in a person's everyday life. Rather than defining luxury purely by traditional market like gold or status, focus on how a piece feels, the confidence it brings, the ease with which it becomes part of your routine, and the emotional connection she builds with it over time. So there's also a strong sense of authenticity in our story. As a mother-daughter brand, rooted in both heritage and a modern perspective, and everything we create is is deeply personal. We're not following trends. We are interpreting them through our own lens, creating pieces that feel current yet lasting. Ultimately, Halo connects with today's consumer by offering a more intimate kind of luxury, one that's approachable, thoughtful, and designed to evolve with the person wearing it. That's Halo.
Could you walk us through your design and curation process from conceptualization to the final creation? And what makes a Halo piece instantly recognizable?
Starting from the beginning, our process always begins with observation and emotion, drawing inspiration from travel, architecture, color, and the energy of everyday life. From there, we translate those impressions into initial concepts, focusing to form, movement, and how a piece will interact with the body. It's not just about how something looks on a sketch, but it's how it feels when it's worn. We then move into a more technical phase where my background plays a role, refining proportions, balance, and wearability. Materials are carefully selected, often working with sterling silver and alternate metals. That's basically what we work with. Paired with natural and created gemstones and crystals that carry depth and vibrancy. Prototypes are tested and adjusted until the piece feels effortless, both visually and physically. Curation is equally intentional. Every piece has to fit within our evolved classics philosophy. Timeless at its core, but with a distinctive, modern point of view. What makes a Halo piece instantly recognizable is that balance. It's clean, the refined silhouettes paired with expressive color, thoughtfully detailing, and a sense of movement. There's always an ease to it, jewelry that feels elevated but never overwhelmed.
Building a brand in a competitive global market comes with its challenges. What have been some defining moments for Halo Jewelers that shaped its growth and resilience?
So, building Halo Jewelers has been a journey shaped as much by challenges as by creativity. One of the earliest defining moments was simply choosing to step away from a conventional path and entering an industry where I didn't begin traditionally. That required trusting both instinct and perspective, bringing together an analytical background with a deeply creative, heritage-driven space. Another key moment was navigating how to position the brand in the market that strongly associates the luxury with gold and traditional markers of value. So we made a conscious decision to stand by our belief that luxury is also about feel, design, and experience. Staying committed to that point of view, especially in the early stages, helped define who we are today. There have also been there have also been operational challenges that shaped our resilience. Refining, sourcing, ensuring consistency in craftsmanship, and building a brand identity that feels both elevated and accessible. Each of those moments pushed us to become more intentional, more disciplined, and more clear in our voice. So ultimately, those experiences didn't just strengthen the business, they clarified our purpose. They reinforced that Halo is not about following the industry, but about thoughtfully evolving within it with a clear sense of identity and direction.
Looking ahead, what is your vision for Halo Jewelers and how do you see the brand redefining modern luxury in the coming years?
Looking ahead, what is my vision for Halo? It is to evolve from a jewelry brand into a true lifestyle presence, one that people instinctively turn to for pieces that elevate their everyday look. We want Halo to become synonymous with a more modern definition of luxury, thoughtful, wearable, and emotionally resonant. As we grow, our focus is on expanding accessibility without compromising on design integrity, creating collections that are easily available yet still feel distinctive and intentional. We will continue to refine our evolved classics philosophy, introducing new forms, materials, and color stories that reflect how people live today, dynamic, expressive, and constantly evolving. So, in redefining modern luxury, we aim to shift the conversation away from traditional markers alone and toward experience. How a piece feels, how it moves, and how it becomes part of someone's identity. The future of Halo is about creating jewelry that is not just owned but lived in, where luxury feels personal, effortless, and deeply connected to the person wearing.